The house was too quiet, the kind of quiet that presses against your chest and makes your pulse sound like a drum in your ears. I stood in the kitchen, gripping the edge of the counter, my knuckles white as I stared at the blinking red light of the security camera in the corner. It was new, installed just last week after I'd begged Sarah to agree to it. "You're paranoid, Mark," she'd said, her voice sharp with irritation, her green eyes narrowing. "Nothing's going to happen. We're fine." But I wasn't fine. I hadn't been fine for months. It started with small things, her phone screen lighting up at odd hours, her sudden need for space, after 10 years of marriage, the way she'd linger in the driveway, talking to someone in hushed tones before coming inside. I'd ask who it was, and she'd laugh it off, saying it was just a co-worker or a friend from her yoga class. But her laugh was different now, brittle, like it was hiding something. I wanted to believe her. God, I tried. But the gnawing in my gut wouldn't let me. I'm not proud of what I did next. The camera wasn't just for burglars. I told myself it was to keep us safe, but deep down, I knew I was watching her. I'd check the footage every night after she went to bed, my heart pounding as I fast-forwarded through hours of mundane moments, her making coffee, her reading on the couch, her scrolling through her phone. Nothing. Until last night. The air in our bedroom felt heavy that morning, thick with unspoken words. Sarah was already up, humming softly as she brushed her hair in front of the vanity. She looked beautiful, even in her old college sweatshirt, her auburn hair catching the morning light. I wanted to tell her I loved her, but the words stuck in my throat. Instead, I mumbled, "You're up early." She glanced at me through the mirror, her smile tight. "Couldn't sleep. Thought I'd get a head start on the day." Her voice was casual, but there was an edge to it, like she was measuring her words. "You've been doing that a lot lately," I said, trying to keep my tone light. "Everything okay?" Her brush paused mid-stroke, and for a split second, her eyes flickered with something, guilt? Annoyance? "I'm fine, Mark. Just busy with work. You know how it is." I didn't know how it was. She was a graphic designer, and her projects had never kept her out late or made her secretive. But I nodded, because arguing felt like stepping into quicksand. "Yeah, sure," I said, grabbing my keys. "I'll see you tonight." As I left for work, the unease clung to me like damp clothes. I couldn't shake the image of her last night, sitting on the couch, her phone glowing in her hands as she typed furiously, her lips twitching into a smile she didn't share with me. I'd checked the camera footage before bed, but it showed nothing unusual, just her in the living room, alone. Still, something felt wrong. That evening, I came home to find her car gone. No note, no text. My stomach twisted as I dropped my bag and headed straight for the laptop. The security app was already open, the footage from the day loaded and ready. I told myself I was being ridiculous, that she was probably at the grocery store or meeting a friend. But my hands shook as I clicked through the timeline. The footage started innocently enough. Sarah leaving for work at 8:15, her purse slung over her shoulder. The house empty for hours. Then, at 2:37 p.m., a car pulled into our driveway. Not hers. A black SUV I didn't recognize. My breath caught as a man stepped out, tall, broad-shouldered, with dark hair and a confident stride. He walked to the front door like he'd done it 100 times. The camera in the living room picked up the rest. Sarah opened the door, and before she could even close it, he was kissing her. Not a peck, not a friendly greeting, but a deep, hungry kiss that made my chest cave in. She didn't pull away. She leaned into him, her hands sliding up his back, her body pressing against his. They stumbled toward the couch, laughing, their voices muffled but unmistakable. "I missed you," she said, her tone soft and intimate, a tone I hadn't heard in months. I paused the video, my vision blurring. My heart felt like it was being crushed in a vice. I wanted to scream, to throw the laptop across the room, but I couldn't move. I just sat there, staring at the frozen image of my wife in another man's arms, her face lit with a joy I hadn't seen in years. When Sarah came home an hour later, I was still in the study, the laptop open in front of me. She called out, "Mark? You home?" Her voice was bright, like nothing had happened, like she hadn't shattered me. "In here," I said, my voice flat. She appeared in the doorway, her cheeks flushed, her hair slightly mussed. She looked so normal, so herself, that for a moment I doubted what I'd seen. But the footage was still there, burned into my mind. "You okay?" she asked, tilting her head. "You look like you've seen a ghost." I turned the laptop toward her, the paused video glaring on the screen. Her smile faltered, and her eyes widened. What is this?" she stammered. "You tell me," I said, my voice trembling with rage and hurt. "Who is he, Sarah?" She opened her mouth, then closed it, her hands fidgeting at her sides. "Mark, it's not what you think. Don't." I cut her off, standing up. "Don't lie to me. I saw you. I saw everything." My voice broke on the last word, and I hated how weak it made me sound. Her face crumpled, and she sank onto the edge of the desk, tears welling in her eyes. "I didn't mean for this to happen," she whispered. It started as nothing. A coffee here, a lunch there. I was lonely, Mark. You've been so distant, always working, always checking that damn camera." "So this is my fault?" I shouted, my hands shaking. "I've been trying to keep us safe, to keep you safe, and you're out there with some guy in our house?" "I'm not saying it's your fault," she said, her voice rising. "But you stopped seeing me. You stopped listening. I felt like I was invisible, and he saw me." Her words hit like a punch. I wanted to argue, to tell her she was wrong, but part of me wondered if she was right. Had I been so caught up in my fears, my suspicions, that I'd pushed her away? But no, this wasn't on me. She'd made a choice. "Who is he?" I asked again, quieter now, the fight draining out of me. She looked down, her voice barely audible. "His name's David. He's a client. It's been going on for 3 months." 3 months. 3 months of lies, of her coming home to me, sleeping beside me, while she carried this secret. I felt sick. "Do you love him?" I asked, dreading the answer. She hesitated, and that pause was worse than any words. "I don't know," she said finally. "I love you, Mark, but I don't know." We stood there in silence, the weight of her betrayal filling the room. I wanted to hate her, to walk away and never look back, but all I could feel was the ache of losing her, not just to him, but to the distance that had grown between us. I thought about the camera, about how I'd installed it to catch a thief, not to catch my wife breaking my heart. Maybe I was paranoid, but I wasn't wrong. "I need time," I said, my voice hoarse. "I can't do this right now." She nodded, tears streaming down her face. "I'm so sorry, Mark. I never wanted to hurt you." But she had. And as I walked out of the study, leaving her behind, I knew the truth I'd caught on camera was one I'd never be ready to handle.